Hey Creator, how are we doing today? Today we are going to start our book, The Wheels of Life, by Miss Anodea Judith, PH.D. And this is the classic guide to the chakra systems. And right now we're actually listening to our Heart Chakra, Part 1, by David and Steve Gordon, and this is on brainwaves. And remember how we were talking about brainwaves before? It's actually been a while since I have talked about brainwaves. But brainwaves, they're supposed to, the synchronicity of the frequencies, of the sound, is supposed to help put you in a state of a certain state of mind, like alpha waves, for example. Alpha waves are known to bring your mind into homeostasis, like balancing. Well, I'm gonna put this little guy out there really quick. He's kind of sorry about that. He was kind of distracting me while playing with this piece of paper. But today we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're a little bit tired right now. We had a really long day. And do I have a story to tell you? Today for the first time in a long time, this guy actually had tried talking to a girl in a really long time. The last girl I tried talking to, it didn't really work out. And that was already several months ago, many months ago. It's weird. I don't know. It's one of those things where when something happens, like whoa, like I don't know where this is going, or when this person appears to be, I don't know, everything you thought you were looking for. If they read, they go to the gym, they work out, they're also a trainer, but today I asked her if she had any boyfriend, she did, which is cool, I guess. Good for him, good for her. Yeah, it's interesting. Even my buddy, because he was with me, because we worked out today, and he was telling me, like, wow, like, this girl moved you emotionally. And yeah, she kind of did, I guess, in a way. She's very inspiring in many ways. But yeah, aside from all that, it is what it is, right? What else are we gonna talk about? Yes, and we got a message request this morning, actually, from one of the viewers to read a book called How to Stay Young by Christian D. Larson, and I ordered the book today. It's gonna be in about a week or so. We're actually pretty excited to reading it. And one of my another viewer, she's so awesome. She's been with us for a while, actually. She's definitely very motivating. She encourages me a lot. I mean, even tonight, she made my night by commenting on one of my videos. It was on the chapter on the imagination by On You by Charles F. Hannell. And she's telling me how she's been listening to that chapter all day, just the information in it is, and that made me feel great, especially after this had happened. You get shot down, in a way. And I was bummed for a while, but when I go back to thinking about it, I'm sorry, my connection was getting all weird. I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. You know, I was even telling my buddy too, like I have too many things that I want to do, I guess. I don't want to say before I settle down, because there's always room for love in life, right? There's always room for love, but I don't know, sometimes it's just you're not ready, you know. But yeah, and thank you, you guys, because I have you, you know, and you know, I have my fitness family, you know, this boot camp that I work at. Like, I love being there. I've been really engaged a lot with the members. You know, they love seeing the trainer out with them. You know, it inspires them, it encourages them. You know, sometimes you forget it is inspiring when your own coach is working out with you, you know, and telling you to keep going while he's pouring sweat right next to you, you know. Like, it's very motivating for the clients, and it's great, you know, like building relationships with people. You know, I've learned that, you know, there's lots of love in life. You know, love comes in many forms. You know, even if you don't have it in that, you know, holding hands or kissing somebody and having that personal affection, you know, that's all right. You know, it's all right. You know, if you're watching this and you're single, you know, and my buddy calls me a hopeless romantic, because I'm always talking about, you know, being with somebody. Of all this time, I've really learned that what I just want from somebody is someone to love, and what everybody wants, you know, just someone to love you for who you are. You know, it just accepts you, you know, with open arms, and knows your flaws, and when they learn about your flaws, they don't condemn you or criticize you for it, you know, like, because no one's perfect, you know, and everybody knows that nobody's perfect, and don't try to be. You know, as many times as I've learned that I'm quite a perfectionist, and when things don't go as well or don't exactly end up as good as I think it should be, it would kind of frustrate me, you know, and that's not good, you know. that's not good. You can't be doing that, you know. Like, yes, there's always room for improvement, but, you know, we are perfect in as far as we've come. You know, it's like that, like Wallace D. Wattles would say, you know, how foolish would we be to condemn the lily or to condemn the bulb, you know, of a flower, when we know that the lily is within it. You know, likewise with everybody. Like, how foolish would we be to condemn somebody or even something in its outward appearance. You know, when we know that the lily is within it. You know, the reality of who they are, the spirit of who they are, who they really are. You know, and who that is spirit. You know, is love. You know, regardless of if we're always aware of it or we're always, you know, in that state of love ourselves, because we get frustrated. You know, we're human beings. You know, God created us in His image, but He also made us to where we can feel. You know, feel And there's no greater thing than feeling something. Because if you don't feel, then you're as good as dead. And with all that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and continue. Wheels of Life by Anodea Judith. And here's what I'll do for this video, since I've already talked a little bit about the a pretty good while already. I'm gonna read a few key points at the start of the books, and then we'll go ahead and read it on from there from the next one. So it says, Wheels of Life is the most significant, influential book on the chakras ever written, by John Friend, founder of Anusara Yoga, a profound system for spiritual growth in vibrant physical health. It says, as portals between the physical and spiritual planes, the chakras offer unparalleled opportunities for growth, healing, and transformation. Anodea Judith's classic introduction to the chakra system, which has sold over 200,000 copies, has been completely updated and expanded. It includes revised chapters on relationships, evolution, and healing, and a new section on raising children with healthy chakras. Wheels of Life takes you on a powerful journey through progressively transcendent levels of consciousness. View this ancient metaphysical system through the light of new metaphors, ranging from quantum physics to child development. Learn how to explore and balance your own chakras using poetic meditations and simple yoga movements. Along with gaining spiritual wisdom, you'll experience better health, more energy, enhanced creativity, and the ability to manifest your dreams. And a little more on Anodea Judith. It says she is the founder and director of Sacred Centers, is a groundbreaking writer and spiritual teacher. She holds master's and doctoral degrees in psychology and human health and is a 500-hour registered yoga teacher. That's really cool. I'm impressed by, yes, the master's and doctoral degrees in psychology is great. That's how the mind works. That's a great. She has a great understanding of people and their state of consciousness, but the 500-hour registered yoga teacher, because how great would it be to teach yoga? I personally love yoga. I do the practices on my own regularly. I'm not the best at it, but like they say, it takes time, and as we learn more about these chakras, because yoga is known as a spiritual exercise, it's not just a physical thing, when you're hitting, doing lots of curls, lots of reps with the dumbbells, but it's a spiritual exercise. It really delves you into, your just a mind-body connection, and it aligns you, and then you just feel like calm and poised and just cleaned internally, and that cleanliness brings you closer to like we've learned from the Master Key system, a subtle consciousness receives more life than a consciousness that isn't subtle, because we're living as we're supposed to be. You're subtle. You're the more loftier the awareness, the more vibrant and grandeur will be its experiences in life. And continuing, it says, Judith is considered one of the country's foremost experts on the relationship between chakras and therapeutic issues, as well as the interpretation of the chakra system for the Western lifestyle. She teaches workshops globally and certifies others in her work through Sacred Centers. Visit Judith online at www.sacredcenters.com. Now, we had just finished reading You by Charles F. Hannell, and a few key points that we want to remember from that book. Okay, so we've learned that we're all affected by the vibrations of the planets, and that each one of these planets have its specific energies, because the sun itself is the giver, the source of all this electromagnetic energy, which we're all surrounded by, and these 7 planets, which the solar system composes of, are all moving through this field of energy which the sun is releasing, and these planets in turn collect all of that energy, and they send it, with their own specific vibrations. Like he was saying, the 7 lamps of God would be the 7 planets of the solar system, because they reflect the 7 different rays from the sun. It's if you haven't been with that book, with us in that book, or read about it yet, I strongly encourage you to check it out, because we go over it in more detail. And and like, let's say your horoscopes, for example, when your zodiac sign, that moment of birth, when the first vibrations that you inhale, when you're born, the most dominant vibrations in that atmosphere will have a strong impact on your character, the nature of your physical body, like Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius. We have our specific characteristics at the moment of time we are born in. Between the end of January to the end of February is when Aquarians are born. And people who are born in this month have different characteristics than Libras. Those who are born between September and October. Like they have their own special faculties within them. And they've received those characteristics from the planets. We're even going to go over a few of the planets in its connection with the chakras when we go over and go through this book. Another key point is, remember the sympathetic nervous system in the solar plexus, our subconscious mind, the 7 major nerve ganglia along our sympathetic nervous system, the 7 major nerve ganglia in our body, which are the major centers of distribution of energy, and that's exactly what our chakras are. The 7 centers along these nerve passages that we have, and yeah, like I said, I strongly encourage you to check that book out. It's a great read. It's great information. And let's go and read this part. So it begins the first page by saying, liberate your spirit, manifest your dreams. Journey through the progressively transcendent levels of spectrum consciousness with Anodea Judith's classic introduction to the chakras, written in a practical, down-to-earth style. This fully illustrated book has sold over 100,000 copies and has been completely updated and expanded. Wheels of Life reveals how to use your chakras for better health, greater personal power, and expanded spiritual awareness. The physical exercise, poetic meditations, and visualizations will help you to 1. Ground and center your energy. 2. Open, close, and balance your sexuality. 3. Increase personal power and energy. 4. Open your heart to love and compassion. 5. Use sounds to open consciousness. 6. Develop your intuition. And 7. Expand your awareness. And we want to talk a little bit about 5, how it says use sounds to open your consciousness. And that we could start already talking about your Biha mantras, okay? A mantra in Sanskrit means an instrument of thought. In other words, they can be known as mind tools. There are specific sounds that the energies of your chakras resonate to, the 7 chakras of your system. We've learned how sound has an amazing effect on vibration. How we even went over on the sound when you put sand on a drum head and you play sound through the drum, the sand forms to the vibration that's going through from the sound. The sand forms a certain what is this word I'm looking for? Structure, according to the nature of the vibration coming from that sound. Okay, that sounds better. Okay, same thing with your chakras. Okay, your 7 chakras have they manifest different levels of energy throughout your body. And when you speak these Biha mantras, when you meditate on these sounds, okay, there's Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om, and then Om. Okay, Om is for the 2 upper chakras. Okay, when you meditate on these sounds and really, really focus your consciousness on them, you know, these vibrations from these words have an effect in expanding your own mind. You know, they use it as a process of transformation. You know, in like the monks, or in India, or Hindu, or wherever it is that they would do it. In Tibet, you know, they would repeat the Biha mantras to aid in transformation of consciousness. You know, and it's really cool. You know, I strongly encourage you to test it out yourself. You know, go into the silence and really focus your consciousness on these specific sounds. You know, and the most amazing thing about it is the fact that we have the power to create these sounds within ourselves. You know, how amazing is that? How amazing is that to know, Creator, that you have the power to empower yourself. You know, test it out. You know, don't just take my word for it. Enter into that discipline. You know, try it for a week. Try it for a few weeks. You know, really feel the difference when you meditate in the morning and you repeat these sounds. So together, the 7 chakras form a profound formula for wholeness that integrates mind, body, and spirit, from liberating our spirits to manifesting our dreams. The chakras are the very wheels that carry us through life. There's also one thing I want to add, how Charles F. Hannell, because we're going to go over how these wheels, these discs, they work in spiral motion through our body, you know, like a vortex. You know, they receive energy and release energy in spiral form. And how Charles F. Hannell even says in you, how these vibrations, they travel in spiral form. You know, they travel across the ether by the law of vibration in a spiral form, because, you know, the planets are not only moving, pushing, and collecting all this energy, but they're also in turn rotating on their axis. You know, and in turn causing it to spin around and create all these different manifestations of this vibrations. You know, there's so many key elements that are happening around us. It's amazing. A little bit more about the author. Okay, this is different than what we read in the back. Okay, Anodea Judith, PhD, is a leading authority in integration of chakras and therapeutic issues. Somatic therapist, counselor, yoga teacher, and workshop leader. She is the author of Eastern Body, Western Mind, Psychology, and the Chakra System as a Path to the Self, and co-author of Selena Vega on the Sevenfold Journey, Reclaiming Mind, Body, and Spirit Through the Chakras. She holds an MA in Clinical Psychology and PhD in Health and Human Services. To write to the author. If you wish to contact the author or would like more information about this book, please write to the author in care of Llewellyn Worldwide, LLEWELLYN, and we will forward your request. Both the author and publisher appreciate hearing from you and learning of your enjoyment of this book and how it has helped you. Llewellyn Worldwide cannot guarantee that every letter written to the author can be answered, but all will be forwarded. Please write to, okay, and here's what it says if you desire to write to her. And that is our here, we'll go ahead and read this too, since this is our opening video. It says, for my son Alex. Other works by the author. Okay. Let's not. Here. Yeah, might as well just read. Okay, here's a few other works by the author. Here's the Eastern Body, Western Mind, Psychology, and the Chakra System on the Path to the Self. The Sevenfold Journey, Reclaiming Mind, Body, and Spirit Through the Chakras with Selena Vega. The Truth About Chakras. Waken the Global Heart, Humanity's Rite of Passage from the Love of Power to the Power of Love. Contact, the Yoga of Relationship. Chakra Balancing, a guide to healing and awakening your energy body. Wheels of Life, which is the one we're about to read. The Illuminated Chakras, a visionary voyage into your inner world. And the Chakra System, a complete course in self-diagnosis and healing. Those are our other books, and now we're going to go over Acknowledgments. Excuse me, sorry. Man. In the many years in which I have worked with the chakras, there have been numerous memorable people who have crossed my path and shared their wisdom. At the top of that list are the students and clients who have undertaken the daring work of healing and personal growth. Your struggles and triumphs, your questions and comments have all been a guiding force in my work. May the words in this book help guide you in return. Then there are those steadfast members in the personal life who had believed me, worked with me, and supported me in a myriad of ways. Topping in my list is my husband, Richard Eli, for loving me and cheering me on, for editing, and for making sure my science is accurate. I would like to thank my son, Alex Wayne, who contributes computer graphics and makes me laugh. And I would like to thank my longtime friend and teaching cohort, Selena Vega, who first inspired me to write a book about the chakras. She has helped develop the material shared in our workshops and was co-author of my second book, The Sevenfold Journey. I would like to thank Carl Weschke for publishing this book for the first time around before chakras were popular, and the many fine folks of Llewellyn, man, I feel that's going to be that word we probably will not pronounce right at all through this entire book. Where were we? Who have been a part of this revision. Jim Garrison, Christine Snow, Kimberly Nightingale, and Lynn Mentorwick. I would also like to thank Mary Ann Zapalak for artwork, and Carlisle Holland, D.O., Robert Lamb, D.C., and Michael Gandy, L.A.C., for sharing their professional expertise. Most of all, I am grateful to the indelible spirit that keeps us alive, and to the chakra systems itself, for being such a profound gateway to the mysteries of life. It is a great honor to be of service to you all. And I'm really excited for this book because I really want to see how she puts the mind, body, and spirit, because I know we had gone over with it with Charles Ifano, because even in chapter 4, it's just sometimes to me it was like he was contradicting himself, because I know he would say in modern days we would need to use our terms a little bit different than old style days. You know, they're both still explaining the same thing. You know, we just need to be able to explain that thing in more of a modern term, because the world is changing. You know, people are changing, and I completely understand that. You know, but sometimes in his book, you know, like chapter 4, he would talk about how, you know, the I of who we are is the spirit of who we are. You know, and that when we think, the I tells the mind what to think, and when we, you know, when we say I go, the I tells the body where it's going to go. You know, he talks about the nature of this I being spiritual. You know, and we've learned that thinking, you know, how thoughts are expressed through our brain, you know, and that thinking is a spiritual activity, that when we think, it is our spirit, you know, the intelligence of who we are is manifesting itself, you know, it's conditioning itself to be a certain way, to do certain things, you know, and yeah, we learn about, like, he goes into talking how this, like, thinking is a spiritual activity, and then he goes into saying how thoughts are the only activity which mind possesses, you know, and then he goes, like, how can mind and spirit, like, he goes from saying that spirit controls the mind into saying that mind and spirit, you know, are responsible for thoughts, you know. So that was one thing that I felt isn't really cleared with clarity yet, and so we really want to see what she may say about it, because you also hear that the spirit of who we are is invisible, you know, and then we have a mind and we have a body, you know, but we'll definitely see. as we continue our journey, we will definitely see. So let's go ahead and end this right here. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, share it, and yeah, with that being said, I'll see you when I see you, Creator.